Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGenEd. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the charts behind me, which are of semiconductor stocks and ETFs. And so I'm just going to go through the list of them first, starting with the VanEck Semiconductor ETF, ticker symbol SMH, which closed at a price of $217.73, being up just over 2.5% on the day. And it does look like it recently bounced from the 236 from this Fibonacci retracement that I've drawn here, going back to the lows hit in the fall of 2022 and then going up to the recent highs. And so that 236 level is right around $202. Does look like we got a bounce from that level, but it does also look like we are getting into some resistance here with this volume shelf corresponding with this consolidation here. So I could see this as being a dead cat bounce before going lower, potentially to the 382 right around $179, or maybe even lower to the 50% retracement at $160.59. That seems like the most likely target, considering that we do have this consolidation here that is marked by this volume shelf here. I do think that will be acting as support, but it might take some time, maybe a couple more dead cat bounces before we get down there, but I could definitely see that happening. And then I'm also going to be going over the iShares Semiconductor ETF, ticker symbol SOXX, and this one closed on Friday at a price of $216.17, being up 2.25% on the day. And it also looks like it did bounce off of the 236 at a price of $205.50, bouncing there, but then again, this consolidation acting as resistance. I could see this one going lower, potentially to the 50% retracement, again, because there is this consolidation here that will be acting as support right around $167. So I could definitely see both of these going lower, and in fact, I am actually short semiconductors via the 3x leveraged short semiconductor ETF, ticker symbol SOXS. And this one actually, I've done the same kind of Fibonacci retracement, but we haven't even really started to go up relative to this time frame going back to October of 2022. And so I have done this other retracement here. And the first level, that we would be getting to is the 236. That is at a price right around $54. And I could see that acting as resistance because it was support here. But, then we might, get past that as it has previously acted as resistance. Maybe we're able to break through it this time and get to $70.74, which is the 382, or perhaps more likely, I do think the 50% level at around $84. With this consolidation here, I do think that will be acting as resistance, so we might be bumping our heads around that level. And before I forget, I should note that SOXS closed at a price of $35.12 on Friday, being down 6.6% on the day. But yeah, so that's, kind of my stance regarding the ETFs. Personally, I do think that semiconductors will be going down. And so I do think this is a nice way to make money off of that. But, of course, I could be wrong. And because of that, I will also be going over some of the stocks here, beginning with Advanced Micro Devices, ticker symbol AMD, which did have earnings on April 30th, which I did stream here on the channel, so make sure you check that out. And so AMD closed on Friday at a price of $150.60, being up about 3% on the day. And it does look like they closed above this red line that I've marked here at $150.18. That did stand out to me during the earnings call. And so that is why I have that level there. And, it is good that we closed above it, but it would be really nice to be seeing a close above the high hit on May 1st, which was at a price of $151.37, and especially getting back to filling this gap here with the low on April 30th being $158.35. So that does need to be filled, but as you can see, if it is filled, there is this nice volume shelf here. I do think that will be resistance. And so that does also correspond with the 382 level here of the Fibonacci retracement that I've done. So I do think we could be getting a bounce up to that level. And note that AMD did not bounce from the 236, or at least it's already broken through it, having bounced off of the 50% level at $140.94. But I could, see it going lower as we do have all of this consolidation down here, this nice pronounced volume shelf. I do think that will be acting as support right around $120.55, corresponding with the 618. And that also does correspond with the tops of a lot of this consolidation. So I think that will be acting as support if we do break lower. Next on the list is Micron Technology, ticker symbol MU. And they closed on Friday at a price of $114.70, being up just over 2% on the day. And this one is, just like the ETFs, bouncing off of the 236, but I do suspect we will be breaking lower. And so the next level down would also, correspond with what looks like a gap fill right around the 382 at a price of $98.96, so breaking below that $100 mark. But, I do think that the 50% level will be acting as more notable support considering this consolidation over here, and that is at a price of $89.20. So I would look for further downside on this one as well. And then Nvidia over here, I've left all of the levels up here because it has had such a massive run, has bounced notably from the 236, having closed on Friday at a price of $887.89, being up on the day almost 3.5%. But again, I do think this will be a dead cat bounce. Because of this consolidation here, it's going to be hard to break to new all-time highs. And so I could see this coming down to any of these levels, but the one that stands out most to me is going to be the 618, largely because of this volume shelf here, corresponding with this massive amount of consolidation. There's going to be a lot of support there. And so I think that that support will probably start to begin right around $500 a share, also that being kind of a psychological level, half of 1,000. So I think there will be some support there because we like our numbers with zeros and fives. And so, but if that doesn't hold, I do think the 618 at $438.84, that could be a key level to pick up some shares if wanting to go long. But I definitely think this is going down, and this is one of the big ones why, I am thinking semiconductors are going to be going down because this is so overextended. I do think that this, while semiconductors and AI are the future, I do think that they are all a little overbought right now, and I do think they will be coming down. But then the next one on the list here, I'm going to go with Super Micro Computer, ticker symbol SMCI, which closed on Friday at a price of $782.70, being up about just over 2.5% on the day, pulling back to the 382 and really, struggling to find that as support. That is at a price of $778.73. But I do think price could be going lower. And for this one, I think it could be heading all the way down to the 786 because of all of this consolidation down here, just like what we're seeing with Nvidia, but with SMCI. That consolidation occurred lower, and so price could be returning to that level right around at $300 a share, and that level, the 786, is actually at $302.53. And then finally, the last one on the list is Nvitas Semiconductor Core, ticker symbol NVTS. And so this one was requested, and it does have a much different look than the other stocks. And so for this one, they did close on Friday at a price of $4.65, being up just over 7% on the day. And so here, what I have drawn on this chart is this purple downtrend, which I initially drew it as, thinking that this is a head and shoulders pattern with the left shoulder being here, head here, and then the right shoulder. So I was thinking this was looking pretty bearish, also that it looks like, it's testing that neckline. Maybe it's going to get rejected and go down further. But if I do this measured move, that's about a $6 drop, and that would suggest, that price would be going below zero if that did play out. And I don't really see that happening. And I actually see that this has broken above and confirmed above this supposed neckline. And so I do think that price could be going higher, especially with earnings coming up on the 9th. It does look, if you take a step back, a little precarious, like this could be a head and shoulders pattern. But I do think that it has reclaimed the neckline because, we do have a close above that level on the 26th, and then having hit a high on the day of $4.53.5. We also did hit a higher high the following day on the 29th, going up to $4.64. So my view is that because the first close was above that level, we need to see a close above that high, or really, any other highs that we've seen following that. And actually, we did get that on Friday. We got a close at 465 above this high from the 29th, putting a secondary close not only above that level, but also above all of these highs. So I do think this could actually be a bull flag and that this could be breaking out for earnings. But, of course, I could be wrong, and that could be breaking lower because, it does look like there is a head and shoulders pattern, but maybe, that is to fake people out, and maybe price would be going up to, this volume shelf here right around $5.50. So that's what I'm seeing in that chart and all of those charts. But, those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching.